Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Straight Up Content Creator Cast. I did that right?
Close enough, dude. I do it different like every show, man. There's not really a...
Yes, I'm your host, Anthony of UzerFriendly, and today I'm flipping the script. Guess what? I'm the one interviewing Neat today.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Neat, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your content creation journey?
I didn't know there'd be a test. Oh, God. So my name is Neat. I go by NeatOnTheRocks. My actual name is Noah. I am the content creator's content creator. I really enjoy making content that helps people to better themselves in pursuing their own passions, usually through content. I think that a lot of people these days are living for their evenings, living for their weekends, living for their time off, instead of living for what they do with their life. And I think that's a travesty. And so I'm here to encourage and inspire and educate more people in the methods of pursuing their passions as what they do rather than what they do on the weekends.
Yeah, that's a big goal. And I agree with you 100%. 100%. I watched, you did one of the Straight Up casts with Schubler.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
With my buddy Isaiah.
Yep. And you were like, why? Like, why aren't you just doing what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And Schubler's like, I don't know. And you're like, you're just scared. You're just scared. Just do it. Let's just do it. Jump in there. And I'm like, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Right? Like, you have the talent, right? You have the talent. You might not think that you have the time, but if you make the time, you have the time. And then you can make yourself happy and also have a living at the same time.
That's right.
Yeah. So how did you get into doing content creation?
So I started my first YouTube channel when I was like 13. And I absolutely loved it. Back then I was probably even more passionate about it than I am now. Like I could just hit record on my webcam and just talk about whatever and post it as a YouTube video and not even care. I'm trying to refine that passion again. But over the years, I've tried YouTube and I've bounced off of it like literally 9 times. I tried Twitch and I bounced off it a couple times before finally realizing, like, man, I want to do content. Like, I want to make stuff for a living. I don't want to, work for somebody. I don't want to work in an office. That's not what I want to do with the rest of my life. That's not what I see myself doing in 10 years, 30 years, 45 years from now. I see myself making people happy, doing something entertaining or educational or helping people in some way. And so I said, well, where can I get started? And I was like, well, Twitch streaming looks like fun. And then I was like, yeah, YouTube was way too hard. I don't want to do YouTube. Let's go to Twitch. And I get into Twitch and I find out it's like, oh, well, the best way to grow on Twitch is to make YouTube content. And I'm like, son of a bitch! So now I'm back at the YouTube game. So we're just vibing, figuring out social media and everything. So
that's my specialty. And we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I found you through Bad Lex.
Many do, actually. Nice.
Bad Lex is like, you know what? You need to talk to my friend NeatOnTheRocks. And I'm like, maybe. And then like I started watching you and you have this passion, right? You have this passion, this drive, and this energy that nobody knows where it comes from.
Cocaine.
Yeah. Makes sense. Because I'm like, where?
Comes from gratitude, man. That's the meme.
We're like, where does Neat get this energy from to just be Neat?
There's this, I don't know if you follow Gary Vee at all. A lot of us in this space are big fans of Gary Vee, but he's just a dude who makes, I mean, he talks about putting out, his goal is like 64 pieces of content a day between social media and all this and absolutely going crazy with it. Obviously, he's a big inspiration of mine, but a lot of people talk about how he has just crazy endless energy. And there's a YouTube video kind of poking fun at him where he's like, where somebody's playing as him, and he says, people just ask me where I get all this energy, and I tell them gratitude. And it's just hilarious. And so the meme is gratitude. It's because gratitude. I'm so gracious for all the energy people put into me and give to me, you know, with, you know, asking me to be on their shows and things like that, you know, that it just lights a fire in me. That's just like, man, but I want to do for them, you know? So
yeah, you do. And I mean, I use your videos to level up our content. Unfortunately, my camera died, so I have this webcam on right now, but you know what? We make it work.
Make it work.
Yeah. Neat is the one that taught me about 3-point lighting, which I don't have on right now.
That's okay.
Yeah. 3-point lighting. Right. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, honestly, Bad Lex was like, you know, you really should watch Neat. Neat knows a lot of stuff. Neat is very interactive. And I was like, you know what? Maybe. And I don't remember what it was specifically, but I kind of landed on your Twitter account.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you know what? I like this kid. You know, he's got good politics. He stands up for what's right.
That's right.
That's the check marks. I'm like, cool, follow. And then I popped into a couple of your streams, and I saw the one stream with Sam Woodhull that you did. And I was in that stream with, it was probably me on my iPad and a bunch of other people around me. And the entire time I'm like, that's it. Yep, yeah. That's right. Right. Y'all were talking about stuff that, in me being in school for marketing for 7 years, right? Y'all were talking about all of that stuff in that 4 hours. And I'm like, people are getting this for free.
Yep.
I spent $13,000 for this. And all that information you gave out for free. Mm-hmm. And one of the other things that I really, really loved was Sam Woodhull had made a Twitter post about what do y'all call it? Content branching, right?
Yes.
Content
branching.
Yes. There is a legitimate marketing word for that.
Is there? What's the word? Because Sam didn't know it.
It's integrated marketing.
Integrated marketing. I'll be sure to pass that along to him.
Yes.
Because he was like, because I told him, I was like, oh, content branching. That's what you call it. And he goes, I actually just came up with that name. Like, oh, crap. Okay.
Yes.
I think it's easier sell than integrated marketing to a lot of people.
Oh, million %.
But yeah, that's okay.
$2,000 on a class of just integrated marketing, and y'all said it in the stream.
Yep.
And then he made that Twitter post.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm gonna be making a sister video about it pretty soon.
Oh,
just showing people how to do it. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's big. It's so important. It's the most important part of, not, I shouldn't say being a content creator, but just of marketing your product in general. Yep. Is making sure that all of your messages are having the same message, right? Where you're making sure that all of the people are landing on the right page that you want, right? So when you're making these content, like everyone says, and you mentioned it already, make content on YouTube and then stream on Twitch, right? That's the layout, right? And the reason that works so well is because you have YouTube as your main landing page where all these people can come and they find you. And because they're landing on your YouTube channel, and if you're doing the right stuff and people are getting suggested more videos that you're creating and they're getting deeper into it, they're going to want to know more. And then you just mention, you're like, oh yeah, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, I stream on twitch.tv every day. I'm going to answer all your questions. And what does that me, the viewer, want to do? I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's exactly where I want to go. And you're creating loyalty. You're creating brand loyalty. And you're getting people to go onto more of your landing pages, and answering their questions, talking to them talking to them, which is something a lot of brands kill for.
Mm-hmm.
They kill for it.
1,000%.
Kill for it. They spend millions of dollars for that. Millions. And y'all just were like, okay, here you go. This is it. This is the playbook. This is the playbook. Go for it.
1,000%. Brands are sleeping on streaming right now because streaming isn't mainstream yet or isn't huge yet like it's going to be. But there is absolutely nothing that can replace the one-on-one contact that a stream does. I think streamer marketing is going to be is practically the future of marketing as far as I'm concerned. Maybe not totally and completely, but getting somebody as a direct it's millions of times more effective than a billboard or a YouTube ad or anything similar. Where just somebody directly connecting on a personal level, it's unlike anything that's ever been done in advertising yet.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Because with that, like all stuff that you learn over 6, 7 years, 8 years of going for your degree in marketing, right? Like the thing that every marketer asks is, what is in my customer's head? Right? What's in my prospect's head? They literally teach classes on the entire life cycle of someone going to a store and buying a product, right? Entire life cycle of why do they go to the store? What store do they go to? And why they choose that store? And then why pick up your product over any other product? And then what do they do with the product after they purchased it? And with content creation, it's a little bit different. But you get to, if you put yourself into that perspective of my product is my content, right? That's your layout. That's your plan. That's the plan that you guys have been making. You're like, okay, my product is my content. So how do they get there? Oh, you know what? I'm going to help people. I'm going to help people get into content creation. And then they go and they search it and then they find you. And they're like, you know what? Neat has a lot of really good things to say, right? I'm coming from me. This is all me too, because this is exactly how it went. He's like, you know what? Neat's got a lot of great things to say. Hit subscribe. And Neat says in the channel, you know, I stream every Tuesday and Saturday, right?
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
So Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a pop in. So I pop in. I'm mostly in the Tuesday streams. So because we raid you all the time. So,
yeah.
So you know, I pop in and I'm like, you know what? This person has a lot of really great things to say. So then I join the Discord. And then I see your community. And that was the final nail in the coffin.
That's right. Best community on the internet, man.
Final nail in the coffin. I'm going to argue you there because UzerFriendly is an amazing community.
Everyone always does, but everyone always does.
Honestly, it was the final nail in the coffin for me because not only are you helping people with your content and you're very vocal and you very much take it in and you're like, hey, have you tried doing this? Maybe you try doing that. You're in the trenches, right?
I'm in the trenches. That's right.
You're in the trenches. I talked about this in your stream on Sunday on your YouTube stream. You're in the trenches and you're like, hey, like, have you tried doing this, that, and the other thing? Oh, maybe you should try doing this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Could you imagine like 5 years ago, someone trying to get into YouTube and having a NeatOnTheRocks right there, just being like, hey, how do I export this properly? And Neat's like, first off, you got to use DaVinci Pro.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like, wow. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
For what you do, because you really do some really great work.
So part of my strategy is to, I mean, people talk about like not focusing on the numbers, right? But really, for me, I'm not too worried about growing, you know, exponentially necessarily. Like growing, you know, like I'm not necessarily worried about like, okay, I want to hit 100,000 or I want to hit 1,000,000 or I want to hit big numbers because then I'll be good to go. I'm more focused on, I would like to expand because I want to bring this value to as many people as I possibly can. But what I really like to do is leveraging personal connection. And I think that's almost better if you take it slowly. And so I'm enjoying the process of going through, and every single person that subscribes to my channel, I get to say, hey, thank you for subscribing to my channel. And every single person, I keep my DMs open. I tell everybody I keep my DMs open. So every single person that sends me a message, I can at least say, hey, thank you for messaging. I don't know how to solve your problem at the very least. And keeping some people, there are certain, and I'll refrain for this stream in particular, I'll refrain from calling anybody out. But there are certain creators who make great stuff, make great, communities, that will have a Discord for their content, and they won't be active in their own Discord. Or there will be people who don't respond to every tweet, despite the fact that they have probably the time to respond to every tweet. Or sometimes they take more time to talk about or complain about the tweets that are negative rather than going through and really leveraging the tweets that are positive, right? And I'm just not about that. I'm just not about that. To me, it's really going in. I go in, every single video I have, you can go to any video on my channel. By the way, you should go to videos on my channel.
Absolutely. Subscribe to NeatOnTheRocks. Yep.
Every single video on my channel, you'll see every single comment has a reply from me. Every single one has a reply from me, because every single time somebody takes time, because time is our most valuable resource. Money, you can always make more money. You could win the lottery if you really, the chances were really in your favor. Money could just fall out of the sky. Money is actually a made up concept. That people have just gotten together and agreed exists. Time is real. Time is something you never get back, and people choose to take time out of their day, or take time out of whatever they have to give to me, to put a comment on my videos, or even just to watch my videos or to consume my content. That means more than any money anybody could ever give me. And so I really, really want to show people the gratitude, right? That
gratitude.
The gratitude, right? that I have for people giving me that, for giving me their most valuable resource. And so taking the time just to give back when people give me their time, when somebody says, hey, this was awesome, I say, thank you, you're awesome, like, you're breathtaking type of deal. So that's what I live for, man. That's what I absolutely live for. And it just so happens to also be a great strategy for growth and making money and things like that. That comes extra.
So literally, people, I flat out tell you that companies pay a lot of money for that. Otherwise, why would they hire social media managers?
Exactly.
Why would they? Right? Think about it. Think about, this is something I've been doing consultations with a few people, and mostly content creators. And I'm like, hey, let's sit down, let's take a look at what you're doing, and let me give you the bare basics of marketing so I can give you a direction of where to go, right? And I will tell you, some of them, like you said, they don't respond to their comments. Some of them, all sizes. I've helped people all sizes. I'm talking single digits, double digits, triple digits, up to 6 figures, all sizes, right? Don't respond to their comments. They don't respond to their tweets, right? They just expect, I'm going to tweet out, oh, my video is live, and they get their engagement. They get their 20, 30 likes, and they're like, oh, cool. And then they move on, right? They get their retweets. Some people, and this is something that infuriates me, and I'll flat out say it. It infuriates me. There are certain people that people will tweet at them, and the content creator won't respond, or they won't hit the like button,
or they won't even read it. Sometimes,
at the very least, like it. Very least, they underestimate the power of building a relationship.
Absolutely.
Underestimate it. I said it 5 times. I'll say it again. Companies spend millions of dollars to do that, and you can do it for free. And all it takes is to take your phone, and then just tap one button.
Tap the like button.
Just tap the like button. You don't have to respond. You don't even have to respond. Just tap the like button.
Just seeing confirmation that they read it, that you read it, brightens people's day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of the people in the chat where you'll comment on something and you don't expect a response. And then they'll say, "Oh, thank you." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
It's to our benefit, you and I's benefit, and people like us's benefit, that there is no expectation of response, because other people in our space don't give the expectation of response.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So it plays to our benefit that we take that time, you know?
Absolutely. And it's just so frustrating and upsetting, because I'm like, if more people were to, follow in Neat's footsteps and really take the time to build that relationship, build that community, because relationship building is one of the key strategies for marketing companies. Think about it. Why do you think that Wendy's responds to every tweet? Why do you think that Verizon, they have the search where if you say, "Oh man, my Verizon blah blah blah," they immediately DM you? Why do you think that is? Right? Millions of dollars. They have people,
yeah, because they have to pay a salary to a team of people to manage that.
People round the clock, so that they can shoot you a DM, because that's relationship building, because that is marketing, because that is what brings you more people, and you get value out of those people, a lot of value. If they are really coming to you and they're like, "You know what? I know that when Neat post a video, I know it's quality content that I can learn from. I know when Neat posts a stream that I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to be a part of a friendly community. I know that because that's loyalty, because that's the brand that you've built off of yourself." And it's impressive. It's very, very impressive. A lot of people can't say that. And take it from someone that did a ton of consultations.
Sure, yeah, totally.
So you do a great job.
Thank you, my man.
Absolutely great job.
That actually means a heck of a lot, because I've never even so much as had a formal business class before. So, which might be insulting to you.
No, you're good. You're good.
But
you're good. Yeah, I saw the one stream you were like, "Oh, why go to school for business?" And I'm like, excuse you.
It's so tough these days, you know?
It is.
School is for a very specific... school is becoming more niche when it comes to like formal schooling in a university environment. As somebody who went to university, talking to somebody who went to a university education is becoming more and more niche, despite it becoming more and more widespread as a job requirement, which I think is to the detriment of our people and our country and the world, really. Because we're getting into people's heads that they need to be something that they aren't, right?
Yep.
And I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't eat that crap. So I'm all for people finding out exactly, dialing in, and of course it's hard when you're a young adult or an adult at all, to really figure that out. But it's also great because you have all the time in the world to figure it out, as long as you got a way to put food on your plate. And a roof over your head, which sometimes that is the worry, and that's unfortunate. But in the meantime, it's like, man, figure out what you really love to do, because eventually you wake up one day and you realize it's that simple.
It really is. A lot of times it is, and a lot of times it's about taking that step. It's that step that a lot of people are really afraid to take, and it's that step that a lot of people are like, I need somebody to hold my hand. And what I appreciate about you and your content is that you go, okay, and you push them off the cliff.
That's right.
Yes. You push them off. Fly. You're like, cool, fly. And I've seen it in your Discord.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so true, dude.
Yeah. I've seen it in your Discord. And I'm like, that's respectable. Because then what are you doing, right? Then you're basically writing everything out for them, and they'll be like, oh, well, my plan is this. Do you think that's cool? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
tell me how it goes.
yeah, exactly. Tell me how it goes. But you're like, hey, check out this person. This person did a video on this. Here's 3-point lighting, right? Here's how to improve the setup of how your camera looks, right? Here's how to edit that. I'm like taking notes on that video because that one is big for me.
Thank you, man.
Here's how to edit. Here's how I edit and edit like a wizard. That was a great thumbnail, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, right? It's like, here's how to edit like a wizard. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like that stuff you're giving people the fishing rod.
And you know why? Because they say, you know, people before us, they fished with a net. You know, people for the last 20 years in content have been fishing with a net. But people come to me and they say, I don't have a fishing rod, I can't fish. So I'm like, fine, here's a fishing rod. I eliminate people's excuses. Yeah. Because a lot of the times production quality, frankly, doesn't really matter. As somebody talking to you from $1,000 camera with $300 worth of lens on a $300 microphone with over $1,000 worth of lighting surrounding me, production quality is the least of your worries. Because Anthony over here across from me is using webcam and whatever light you got going on, and the content is there. The content is there for both of us. Mostly for me, production quality is for me. It's because I enjoy the production quality, and because a lot of the times I'm selling production quality, and so that kind of comes hand in hand. You got to prove myself. But in reality, if my house burned down tomorrow, if my apartment burned down tomorrow, I wouldn't stop making. There would be no cessation of my content. I might take a week to get back up on my feet, but this right here, this phone, this is all we need. Everybody has one of these in your pocket. You can make better content on this phone than any of the content made before 2015. I guarantee it.
Absolutely. 100%.
Because production quality wasn't there and phones weren't there, and you can beat that quality with this phone and like maybe a $50 lapel mic. Yes. You can beat it. Everything else is just extra. The content is the content. The story is the story. The person and the connection is the person and the connection. That is absolutely king. 1,000%. There is no alternative. There is no replacement. Yeah. So for me, teaching people editing, teaching people production stuff, it's because I know it's basically giving them the parachute to jump. Yeah. Right. It's just, I can't jump. If I don't fly, I'm gonna die. Like, no, well, I'll just give you a parachute, and then if you really, you can just take the parachute and you can get up and try again. Because in reality, you're using excuses like, oh, I can't find the time. It's like, yes, you can. I don't know how to edit. You can learn really quick. I don't have a camera. You got a phone. It's eliminating the excuses so that you can start, because starting is the hardest part. The first step is the hardest to take.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like a lot of people that have gone viral and are famous and doing more things, not even just in content creation, just in general, recorded from their phone. They literally recorded a TikTok.
I was about to say TikTok is the absolute proof of concept, because it's almost all on the phone.
Dance around on TikTok, hundreds of thousands of views. Bam. Then everyone's like, oh shoot, follow. And they're like, you know what, I'm gonna do another dance on TikTok, another 100,000 views. They're like, oh, okay, on your phone, right? They didn't think about anything else, did it on their phone. And I'm like, you're right. Absolutely right.
1,000%.
Absolutely. 2015, nothing. Like that was exactly it. Actually, just like letting that digest, like recording on your phone right now absolutely would look better than almost every video shot on YouTube in 2015. Absolutely.
1,000%. All but the top 1% in production quality, which is completely independent of what is the top 1% in views and in engagements, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are mutually exclusive.
It's wild, absolutely wild how far we've come. And every single time they release a new phone, there's more cameras. My phone's got 3 gigantic cameras here.
iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro has HDR. Most mirrorless cameras don't have HDR yet, or are like to pay at more than the money for an iPhone.
Yeah.
For an HDR camera. It's nuts. But YouTube doesn't even have HDR support yet. Phone cameras are outpacing what YouTube is maximally capable of.
Yeah. Yeah, my phone shoots in 4K. The iPhone also shoots in 4K. I'm like, wow, my camera doesn't shoot in 4K.
Your phone screen isn't even 4K.
Yeah.
You can't even watch it back in its full resolution. Production is outpacing what you can view.
Yeah, and Lord Dunch even said it just now. Don't forget all the technology, software behind the mobile technology as well. Yeah,
that's right.
Like the Google Pixel, they have that whole thing where it has its own like HDR where it just analyzes everything and does all the color correction and everything for you.
That's
and I'm
right.
like what? What?
Back in my day.
Back in my day. And I've been in this scene for a while, right? It's been about 6 years now. Right. And I've seen the rise and fall of a lot of people. And I think about it. I'm like, I've like a lot of these people, I feel like you said, and they have the idea. They just don't have, they just didn't want to take that jump.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to take that jump.
Ready to jump.
Yeah. And it's like nowadays you have zero excuses.
Right.
You have videos from NeatOnTheRocks to learn how to do what you need. Right. You have Neat's Discord, and which you could just talk to all the content creators there, and then you can ask them questions. I mean, I was just in there. Was that today? Was that today?
Probably.
I was like, yes, it was yesterday. I was like, yo, my camera's not working. And then I'm like, and then you responded. You were like, oh yeah, if you just try to turn it off,
you mentioned you were like, I can't get it to work. I was like, well, if you've got one going in Discord and one going in OBS, then the second one's not going to appear in OBS and all this. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh well, you know what? You're right. I'm like, look at that. I didn't have that 5 years ago. I had to go through 16 pages of Google searches.
Man, back in our day, when I was as young as some of these people who want to get into content creation are now, you had to pay hundreds of dollars for fraps.
Yeah.
And pray that you had one of the highest performing computers that could run fraps at the same time.
At 30 FPS.
I was about to say at 30 FPS and 720p, and then pray that you had a hard drive big enough for the hundreds of gigabytes it took to record 30 minutes of footage, because it was all uncompressed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to have something better than dial-up to upload this to YouTube. I remember my very first YouTube video that was a gaming video. It was 720p, 30 FPS. The bitrate was crap because it was completely I could tell because it was completely pixelated. I didn't know it was bitrate back then, but now I understand. And I had to set it to upload overnight to YouTube because of my internet connection. That was what people did, and back then, those were sometimes legitimate excuses. Sometimes you didn't have hundreds of dollars to pay for Sony Vegas or for Adobe Premiere, and sometimes you didn't have hundreds of dollars to spend for fraps. Nowadays, you've got DaVinci Resolve, you have OBS. That is all you need. That is more than you need for content creation. Honestly, most free phone apps can edit videos now. There's no excuses anymore.
Yeah, you can even edit videos on the YouTube app.
On the YouTube app. That's insane to me still. That's kind of insane.
I literally did it. I had to edit one of the videos off. I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to do something. And I just went on my phone, went to the YouTube Creator Studio, and I just did the thing. And then that was it. I'm like, what? Like 5 years ago, I would have had to re-put that into Sony Vegas. Right, I'd have to delete the video because I screwed up. I'd have to edit everything all over again, wait for it to render, and then rendering took how long?
How long,
right? You're like, okay, let's render we'll leave the render on. I'll go and get lunch and come back. And then finally you have to upload the video. And like you said, you're like, great, I got to upload this overnight. And you would just leave it overnight because it would take 3, 4, 5 hours to upload and process. Goodness. Wow, I feel like an old man.
Yeah, and that was 5 years ago. Imagine where we will be in 5 years.
that is absolutely crazy to me to even think about.
Which means get in now before the competition gets even more fierce, right?
Do it. Just do it. Right?
Do it.
Just do it. Like it. And this is exactly why I brought you on, right? Just because we are a community. We both have communities that foster these safe spaces, right? That foster the friendliness and helping people with each other, and helping people with this kind of thing. And like, we're just trying to tell you, if you want to do it, just do it. What's stopping you?
Even if what we said speaks to one person in chat today and gets them to make a video they otherwise wouldn't have made, it would have been all worth it. Worth it.
Absolutely agree. One person, because that one person, that might change their life. That might make them infinitely happier. That us saying that one thing might make out the next big Markiplier.
That's right.
Big, right? Like,
or at least domino them to influence the next big Markiplier or next big whoever, Yeah.
I completely agree. I've seen so many. There's a story.
Go ahead.
There's a story where I used to play Magic the Gathering.
Used to play.
I
want to hear the story of why you quit.
Money, time.
That's fair.
Yeah. So back in high school.
2 good Pink Floyd songs, by the way. Go on. Sorry.
So, high school, a little bit of middle school, we used to play Magic the Gathering. I used to play all the time, right? And a buddy of mine, Anthony, used to play, and it was Anthony and Anthony, right? Top players, Anthony and Anthony, right? It got confusing. They came up with the nickname Black Thunder. I was Black Thunder. Okay.
All right.
Black Thunder making it into the top 4 again. Black Thunder making it to the top, right? We used to play all the time, and Anthony came up to me one day and was like, "Hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel. Any boost would be great," because he knew that I helped run a Pokemon fan site. I was like, you know what? That's fine. So I was like, I'm going to support you all the way. Posted every single video that he created for like months. I was like, hey, y'all like Pokemon? Check out this Magic the Gathering YouTube channel, right? Months. One day, he kept doing his thing, didn't really talk too much, whatever. And one day I go to PAX East. Okay. Go to PAX East, and PAX had they have their own panel each year, right? And they have this giant stage in which they get their like the top creators and stuff to go on, okay? And they have like kind of a podcast kind of thing, talk show, whatever you have it. I'm walking past and I look at this person. I'm like, wait, do I know you? And they're like, wait, are you Black Thunder? I was like, yeah.
The one and only.
Yeah, the one and only. And they're like, we used to play Magic the Gathering together. I'm like, oh, cool. What are you doing here? And they're like, oh, I'm helping Anthony get all set up. I'm like, wait, get set up? And my friend Anthony is the Manosaurus, who is the top Magic the Gathering content creator. Number one.
Number one. Period?
Period.
Nice.
No idea. Had no idea. He goes by TMS Wedge now. No idea. Just found him going up to a panel for PAX East.
Wow.
And it goes to show, just do it. Just do it. His first video was an interview of the owner of our local card shop.
Wow. That's first amazing.
It probably isn't even up anymore. But first video. And it was the worst quality you could imagine. It was probably like 7 years ago now. Worst quality. It's probably 720p. And now, like we keep saying, you take your phone, you can make 4K videos.
You can make 4K interviews with $50, maybe $100 worth of lapel mics.
Yep. There was no microphones in that interview.
No.
So all you hear is shh,
and room
you
noise.
Hear, yeah, all that noise, and then you hear yeah. So we started the card shop.
Good. Everybody starts somewhere, man.
Yeah.
Harris Heller had brown hair in his first video. Could you imagine? Like,
goodness gracious. But yeah, I've been doing these consultations, okay, with a bunch of different content creators, right? And again, like I said, every single one of them, I'm like, hey, listen, if you want to level up your content, talk to Neat.
Yo, my man.
So I'm sure you saw all those random people following you that you're like, who the heck? Pokemon? Like what? A podcast? Like a news podcast? I'm like, just trust me. I'm like, trust me. Follow Neat, follow Sam, follow and subscribe to Alpha Gaming. Just watch these, get started, check out Nutty, get started. They're giving you the tools, they're giving you the fishing rod, and then you take it. And you take the fishing rod, and then you make yourself happy. Make yourself happy.
And then you teach a man to fish.
Fish for a lifetime.
That's right.
Fish for a life. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about social media.
Good.
Yes.
I like talking social media.
I want to talk to you about a little bit about social media and social media marketing. Tell me, what is your take on content creators and social media? And we'll work from there.
Like, what do I think content creators should be doing, or what do I think about content? What do I think they should be doing? I think, number one, you should probably make an account on as many platforms as you can stand to make and try them all and see which ones you like. I personally really, really enjoy Twitter over all the rest. I'm still figuring out TikTok. I think there's a place for LinkedIn with my content, and I think LinkedIn is very viable right now, despite what many people are saying. Normally, so here's the thing as well. If people are if you look at a platform and you see and you Google it and you see a huge user base, but nobody in your space is talking about that platform, or nobody's posting that platform, that's where the opportunity is. LinkedIn. So that for me tells me that LinkedIn is probably a bigger opportunity than TikTok. We just haven't figured it out yet. So I'm going to try to crack that Da Vinci Code. In the meantime though, just do really like post what you love and post a lot of it and really get engaged with whatever circles surround that thing you're really engaged with. So obviously I really like content creation. I follow a bunch of streamers, a bunch of YouTubers, and pretty much anybody who follows me, I follow them back. A lot of people really care about maintaining their like follower ratio. I think it's baloney.
It's a myth.
I think it's a baloney. I don't think anybody really looks at your content, enjoys what you're posting, and then goes, man, I wonder how many people this person follows compared to who's following them.
Yep.
Doesn't happen. Literally never happens. I think I'm following literally more than twice as many people as are following me. But that gives me opportunities to post on other people's content, to share other people's content, to share it around. And a lot of people have messaged me and said, hey, man, you following me back made my day. And I'm like, you're gassing me up. That's baloney. But I appreciate that they say that. And so if I have the potential to make somebody's day by following them back just because they really like my stuff, then I'm gonna take that opportunity, because making somebody's day is overwhelmingly the first huge step into, making somebody a true fan, right? That we talk about 1,000 true fans and such. And really decide where you want your strategy to lie. Obviously, I really like the idea of making your first 1,000 fans, your 1,000 true fans, just absolutely going head first and putting everything into every single person that follows you as much as you can stand. But otherwise, figure out whether you want that or you want to leverage large numbers. And for me, I have like a 3-step approach, and it's basically post a hell of a lot of whatever you love, just constantly posting, just sharing your passion with everybody. Second is replying to every single comment that you get Every single time somebody engages with you, you engage with them back. And third is doing that ad infinitum until the end of time. Is just absolutely having the patience to wait to plant these seeds and watch them grow. Because so many people are looking for things to start just rolling in. You know, like, oh, hey, I posted, I didn't get any followers, I give up. Or I did this stream, nobody showed up, I give up. Or I posted this YouTube video, I put a lot of work into it, it didn't get any views, I give up. Number one, if you're posting correctly, especially to YouTube, content is evergreen. You never know when a YouTube video is going to go viral. I've had videos
all the time.
I had a channel. I defuncted a channel when I was a teenager. I don't tell this story very often because I wasn't very proud of the videos I made, but I made a particular video on that channel and I gave up on the channel. And then months and months, probably years later, I searched up that channel and one of the videos had like over 20,000 views or something on it.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, no. That was before, that video was so terrible. I guarantee that was before YouTube leveraged watch time and watch percentage into the algorithm. But still, just the crazy number of views I could have capitalized on if I had made a good video with that. And now I got to figure all that out again and start from zero. So, but that's the way it crumbles. But it could be so. To sum it up, you asked my social media strategy. I've kind of been going all over the place. It's really follow a lot of people, do awesome stuff, post incessantly about what you're passionate about, integrate your marketing or content branch, and take your stuff from Twitch and YouTube. You know, we discourage in our circles, we discourage stuff like, oh, you know, don't post super low effort content, right? Don't go into YouTube posting just Twitch compilations because you likely won't see a whole lot of engagement or success. But maybe you just find the best platform for that. Maybe your a lot of Twitch highlights do really, really well on Instagram and do really, really well on TikTok. And sometimes if you do something really educational, that can do really well on YouTube. And sometimes breaking that down further into just really distilling it down to like 1 minute and super quick and super high paced, maybe that does well on TikTok as well. So really dialing in, find out where you can take the different aspects, because I guarantee they're there. There's different aspects to your content, and figuring out where those fit in the greater like field of social media. Obviously, nothing over a minute is going to go on TikTok. You're going to find a way to get stuff under a minute to go on TikTok. You're going to find stuff, really, really educational stuff, really, really important stuff for people to learn more. It's probably going to do really, really well on LinkedIn compared to other platforms, as well as on YouTube. If you're going live, probably want to do YouTube or Twitch, unless you want to leverage potential live audiences that you can get on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, because those are all viable for live streams now. So It's really just experimenting and being patient and replying and showing gratitude to every single person that you encounter.
Are you sure you don't also have a degree?
I'm dead serious. I learned this all in the past year and a half, just from independent study, just from absolutely engrossing myself in this stuff. Just from listening to people like you who know better than I do. Just listening to people like you, listening to people like Gary Vee, Harris Heller, Sam Woodhall, Nutty, just speaking to people who have, and Devin Nash, of course. People are getting into the trenches and learning this for themselves, and I think that's fantastic. And then they're passing it on to people, they're giving up the secrets, you know? And I think that's amazing because it eliminates excuses. So
yeah, I would agree. And I think your take is correct on how you should handle social media. And one of the things that you mentioned is something that I've had to talk about in all of my consultations is low effort, right? Mm-hmm. It's low effort, right? Because if you're on Twitter, right? Twitter is the easiest one, right? You're on Twitter. And the only thing that I see on your profile is I'm live, new YouTube video channel posted, or YouTube video posted, live, I'm live, video posted, nothing else. Why am I following you? Right?
100%.
Yep. And what I've been saying in every single one of my consultations is taking that step back, right? Because this is the hard part. It's really difficult for a lot of people. Is taking a step back and looking at your brand, right? Because branding is so incredibly important in content creation. So incredibly important. Like Neat's brand, I was like, sick. You see this? You see all the colors here? You see the colors? You see the logo, that logo? All of that, part of the brand. All of it, part of the brand. And then the community is also a part of Neat's brand, right? Now, for all newer content creators, the one thing that I recommend is taking 2 or 3 steps back, looking at yourself and looking at all of the content that you're making and the content that you want to make and saying, what is my brand, right? Branding can be anything. Branding can be, like I said, Neat has a bunch of cool colors. Well, this way. Neat has a bunch of cool colors here, right? That's a part of Neat's brand. You know, Neat has this retro, what's the word for it?
Kind of synth wave or retro wave aesthetic, yes.
Yeah, that retro wave aesthetic, yeah. That neon, that's also the same colors in the background. That's all part of the brand, right? All of that integrates into integrated marketing, right? Focus on part of what your brand is, and branding can be a lot of things. It could be your friendliness, right? It can be your opinions on certain things. And Devin Nash even said it. I've only started listening to Devin Nash now because you guys keep talking about it on the Discord, right? Like,
he's one of the best.
Nash's new video? I'm like,
he's one of the best. He gets it.
Yeah. And Nash even said it. Like, you know, why? Like, why should people watch me? Like, why should people watch me? Be the best. What do I give somebody that nobody else does, right? Why is it that someone should click on my video over somebody else's, right? Why is it that somebody should follow me on Twitter? What do they gain out of that, right? And that is a very important aspect for content creators to recognize, because a lot of them don't.
That's right.
90% of them don't.
That's right.
And like and here's the thing too, right? By gaining something could be anything. It could be gaining knowledge. It can be gaining happiness, even just memes.
Yep. Even just laughter.
I know that if I follow this account, I'm going to get some really funny memes, right? I follow an account called Naoto Dancing to Everything. And it's Persona 4 character, chibi form, doing this.
For sure.
And I follow them. Why? Because
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's great. It's great for me. It gives me joy. It sparks joy. Can't wait for Anthony to be dancing to different things. I cannot believe. I shouldn't say that. Y'all got. Oh my goodness, we hit $1,069.
No way.
Nice.
You
love to see it. Thank
Yo,
y'all.
guys. That's fantastic. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
And something else too is it doesn't take long to transform a brand. Like it doesn't. Nope. If we called you out at any time during this, if you felt personally attacked by, 2019, as late as 2019, my Twitter account was literally no cap a bot that posted NeatOnTheRocks is live on Twitch link. Literally, that was my entire feed. I kid you not. That was literally my entire feed. And eventually, my very first post was, guys, how do I disable this bot? And then I don't have that account anymore for reasons. But on my new account, I said, this is great. I get to start fresh. I get an entirely clean feed. Not only have I surpassed on my new account in just since July, not only have I surpassed the following on my old account, I've doubled it, and I'm about to triple it. So
there you go.
So just by not being a bot, just by Gary Vee said it best. It covers exactly what you were talking about. He says, so many people come to me for consulting or come to me with questions, and they say, how do I get 1,000 followers? How do I do this? How do I make money through content? How do I get a passive income? And he says, stop asking those questions. You're asking the wrong questions. It's never how do I? It's how do I provide value? It's how do I give? How do I make people's lives better? How do I bring appreciation to the people who are providing for me and are consuming my content already? It's how does one give value is king. Giving value is king, whether it's through laughter, through memes, education through YouTube videos or LinkedIn, or engaging with just somebody who you feel is your friend on a Twitch stream. That's the value. That's the king.
It is.
Content is king, value is queen. Like,
yes,
you might say. So,
yeah, 100% agree. That value is something that, again, tons of content creators, even larger ones, just kind of sleep on.
Yep.
Because I bet you anything that, let's say I'm Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo has 1 million followers on Twitter, right? Joe Schmo never responds to anybody, right? Joe Schmo is like, tweets something out and then gets all these comments, doesn't do anything with them, right? Joe Schmo is like, you know what, screw it. I don't want to do this anymore. Joe Schmo would be able to sell that Twitter account 1,000,000% to some company. So that company would take over, do whatever they needed to, rebrand it to what they wanted, and be like, you know what? Those are the engagements that we were looking for. They would get the engagements. They would continue to engage with those people, which boosts engagement, something that a lot of people don't realize. It's like, oh, nobody's looking at my stuff. Well, you're not engaging with anybody.
Because you're not looking at anybody, You're not giving anybody anything to work with, anything back.
And I've told everybody, I'm like, listen, you need to engage with other people too. So if you see that your friend is posting something, you should respond to that. You should engage. You said it. What is it? All tides rise ships.
Oh yeah, right? Rising tide raises all ships. That's it.
There it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
Promoting your friend but serves to benefit you. Even if you're in the game just to benefit yourself, which you shouldn't be. Even if you were in just to benefit yourself, benefiting others is the way to do that the best. Like, it just 100%. Is.
Yeah, building a community, engaging with your followers, building that loyalty, building that brand. And when you're building a brand of loyalty around being like a safe space, like you and I are, being friendly and really in the trenches, helping people, that's important. That's so important. That's the value that you and I provide, right? It's just so important. And taking it back a little bit into social media, that is the value that you should also strive to provide. Maybe not on the same level that you and I do it, but helping somebody do something, right? Giving them that little shove. You see your friend tweet that says, hey, I'm really thinking that I want to start painting again. Why not respond? Why not say, hey, I think you can do it. You should do it.
Or even, I'll buy your first painting. That's my favorite.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'll buy your first painting. Me, I'm like, you know what? I got you. What you need? You need a paintbrush? You need a canvas? What you need? What paint you need? I got you.
That's right.
We're going to do this. We're going to do this together.
100%.
We're going to make it.
And this is part of why I have faith in humanity, in all honesty. Like, to go big picture with it, go a little abstract, is I legitimately think going out and making the world a better place makes the world a better place and is infectious and is contagious. And I think that it benefits not only everybody, but benefits you. And so I think the meta is being a good person. And I think when it is the meta, it's going to be the thing that attracts the most people, And so I think everybody, even the people who are successful while being scummy, would be immensely more successful even still if they weren't scummy, or at least would be happier with themselves. At least they would sleep better at night, So there literally is nothing to lose when it comes to being a good person, You've
Yeah.
got absolutely nothing to lose.
It is so much harder to be a bad person than it is to
1000%.
be a good person. And support your friends, you know? Support your friends. If your friends are doing something, absolutely jump in there with them. You might not have to be on Neaton's eye level. We're like, I'm gonna buy your painting and I'm gonna buy you every equipment that you need. We're gonna do this, right?
But even just a retweet sometimes, you know?
A retweet, a response. Hey, we got this. Let's do this. Like, all of that matters, all of it, and it means a lot to a lot of people. It does, right? Like you commented and you were like, "Yo, all this stuff that ad, whoever made that, great job." I was like, "I did that."
It was really good. It was really good attention to detail.
I was like, "I did that." I was like, "That made me feel good." That was even a week ago. That made me feel really good.
Yeah.
Right? And that's all it takes.
Well, because it made me feel good that you took the time to, you know, because you said, oh, Neat's got a really strong brand. And so you went through, you put a song that had saxophone in it. You reorganized with what you didn't do for the other people. You went through and you made it have a neon background and a sunset. And I'm like, hey, I had like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of like.
Yeah, but again, we can't stress it enough. Support your friends, support people around you, engage with people around you. That is what helps you, and that's what builds your brand. And building loyalty and building a community is much more valuable than just uploading videos and hoping that they're going to get hundreds of thousands of views. Much more valuable, right? I would rather, and this is something that has really solidified within the past few months, because the community that we've built has been phenomenal. So all of y'all that are in chat right now, that are in the UZF Discord, I want to say thank y'all, all of y'all, because you have all built this community, like this really great safe space in which I'll wake up and I look in the Discord and I'm like, wow, this is great. I like everyone's just having a good time. And then like we have a ranting channel and someone's not having a good day. And then you just see a slew of people coming in with love. Tons of people. Tons of them. And look, all the hearts in the chat. There's the UCF community right there. All the hearts in the chat. That's all it is. People post selfies. All tons of love. Just hearts everywhere. And it's like, that's what we've been striving for, is to create that community in which people can really enjoy each other and like have a place where they're like, I know I can go here and feel okay. Like, I know I can go here and feel good. And like, I even said it to you in a DM. I'm like, I've tried my hardest to be in more Discords. Right. And I was your Discord. And I'm also in Vantage J's Discord, who was in the Pokemon thing that we just did. Right. And I'm in there and I'm like, I love this. I just love it. It's great.
There's almost nothing like surrounding yourself with people who share similar passions. There's nothing like it.
No, it's so great. It just feels so good. And I love waking up and being able to like go on my phone and being like, wow, I'm going to have another, even if I have a terrible day, I know I have a group of people that are going to support me.
That's right.
Everything that we do.
I'm going to make an addendum to my social media plan. If you're a creator, leverage Discord. Just because there's no discoverability doesn't mean it isn't one of the best ways, up there with streaming, with building personal connections and just absolute actual relationships, unlike any other platform right now. Discord's the way to do it.
100% agree with you. Spend the time. And this is another thing, another pro tip for all y'all trying to do this. Take the time to really work on your social media. Take the time. Think about it. Really think about it. Really sit there and say, is this post good? Right? Maybe even like, what value am I gaining out of this post? And instead of just posting like, oh, I'm live, let's make it a little bit more fun. Let's make it a selfie. Right? Like, let's make it a selfie. Let's edit a clip from the last stream. That was really funny, and put that on. And that's why I'm live. Right? And now you've gained that extra engagement because people are like, oh, that was actually good. Right? And I know that there are people in this chat in which I told that to and have gotten immediate gains from it. I want y'all to. I'm calling y'all out. I'm calling y'all out in chat. Calling y'all out. Yeah. You think I don't know? You don't think I know I did a consultation with you and then the next day y'all did the thing and just saw triple digits, quadruple digits? Like what? Oh, see, look, bad likes. Oh, hey, that's me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude, selfies with going live posts is so underrated. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much that tiny little difference, that tiny little 1% effort. Sometimes it really is, guys. Sometimes you're like, well, but editing a clip every single time, I couldn't do that. Like I don't have enough clips for that, or I don't have the time for that. It's like, broski, even just 1% effort. Even doing more than 0% effort is better than 0% effort. Just a selfie, just a
better not see that metadata.
Just a funny GIF sometimes is all it takes.
I better not just see that little box.
Whatever,
that's just like going live.
People can understand that not everybody has the time or the means that others do, but people can sense when you're putting in 0 effort and when you're putting in more than 0 effort, and putting in the more than 0 effort is the biggest step you take to getting any sort of engagement whatsoever. Putting in 1% effort is immensely more important than putting in 2% effort or 100% effort even. So even if we just have to get you to just take the tiny little dip in the puddle, that's better. That's improvement, and improvement leads to more improvement. That's all you have to worry about.
Let me tell y'all a little story before we end off. I'm going to tell y'all a little story, okay, about how important it is for a little bit of effort and a lot of engagement, right? So everyone knows the Popeyes chicken sandwich, right? Everybody knows that. That was national, right? All over the place. Everybody out the door, lines for hours and hours, people getting into fights over this Popeyes chicken sandwich, right? Do y'all know how this chicken sandwich became so immensely popular? Right? I bet y'all, a lot of y'all don't know.
I actually don't know.
Oh, okay. It's great. It was a tweet with 2 words and a period. I'm sorry, it wasn't a period, it was a question mark. It was 2 words and a question mark. One tweet. Chicken sandwich was out for 2 months before that. 2 months before it got viral. Popeye's Twitter quote retweeted Chick-fil-A with their chicken sandwich, and they said, "Y'all good?" question mark.
And that tweet went mega viral.
That tweet went so viral that the Popeye's chicken sandwich was an international success.
That's exactly right, actually.
2
I
words.
remember that tweet now.
2 words. 2 words. And that's engagement. So if y'all thought that all this was baloney, there it is. There's the proof in the pudding. I'm sure all of y'all know about the Popeye's chicken sandwich from 2-word tweet.
And somebody's going, yeah, but maybe I don't have the wit to go viral, or going viral only happens if you get lucky. And it's like, well, let's say that 1 out of every 10,000 tweets goes viral, goes absolutely massively viral, right? What if you just post 10,000 tweets? And I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm talking about like 2 years.
Exactly.
I'm talking about like 2 or 3 years from now. Maybe you have 10,000 tweets under your belt. At least one of them is going to be viral. Playing the odds. Luck is one of those excuses, right? If you have the patience to set it out, everybody gets lucky because the opportunity is going to come by once you're prepared for it. And I don't say that to blow smoke up people's butts. It really does. Opportunities present themselves when you start looking, and you keep looking even when you don't find anything after a couple of days or a couple of weeks or even a couple of months. I didn't post my first tweet and get asked to be on a podcast about social media, right? I've been figuring out for a year and a half, like, okay, well, what's the strategy then? And apparently that's worth 7 years of classes.
Yeah, it is. And once you've really gone into the trenches, and again, another thing that a lot of people don't do, study people.
Yep.
Study what other people do. I literally just talked about a Popeye's chicken sandwich tweet. Yep. 2 words. I bet you you could probably do that again and it would still go viral.
Yeah.
Bet you anything. You could do the same exact thing with something else and it would probably go viral. The tweets that I see with hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets, I click on it, I'm like, what?
This has been done before. Like,
it's the same thing that I've already seen. And it's fine. And that's absolutely fine. You're playing the game. That's right. You're playing the game. But on that note, thank you so much for coming out tonight.
It's been my pleasure.
We greatly appreciate it. We killed this goal, and
I'm so proud.
I'm very happy. We've done such really great work, and it's all thanks to everyone that's shown up today. It's thanks to our guests that took the time to come out tonight, and thanks to all the viewers for all of y'all donations. You killed it. You did amazing. So thank you so much, Neat, for coming out tonight. We're gonna play the ad one last time. And then it's going to be the three of us hosting, me and GK and Emily, and then we're going to call it a night.
Thanks so much for letting me be a part of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for coming out. It's been great.
It's been awesome. I'm so glad I got to talk to you about all this stuff. I'll have you on for reels some other time. How does that sound?
Ooh, okay.
We'll talk more about it.
Yeah, we kind of
hammer
over.
We'll hammer it home twice as hard. Because people need to hear it more than once sometimes.
I have an entire, the presentation's like 10 slides, and it goes through, it's very specific marketing strategies.
Awesome.
Very specific. And I'm sure a lot of people in your community I've seen, and I'm getting trailed off. I saw one person in your Discord say, hey, I really wish somebody made a video on like how to make things on Instagram like IGN. And I was like, here's an essay. Here's an essay. And that just scrapes the surface, right? And it's like, yeah, we can absolutely talk about that. Thank you so much, Neat.
Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, since I'm recording this for the actual show. So this will be a bonus episode since we only went for an hour and it was unconventional. You interviewed me. So